I promise Kyle and I did not discuss wardrobe today. Good morning, everybody. Welcome to Monday Morning Coffee with Kyle and Ann, where we talk about Chicago real estate. We are friends and colleagues working with Beard and Warner's Gold Coast office in the near north neighborhood of Chicago, and we love to dish. And I've got interesting stuff today. Kyle was enjoying a trip to New York over the weekend, so I've got a bunch of stuff. This is like baseball, where I do the play-by-play and you do the color commentary, right?
Yes, everyone, I'm seeing this all for the first time right now, too, just because I got in late and sleep. And Anne has generously not killed me for it.
So, well, I take full responsibility. So I warn you, okay? This should come with a warning. First, we're going to see the stats, yes. But then we're going to talk about, last week we talked about Lincoln Park and what happened over 10 years in Lincoln Park. This year, we're going to talk about what happened in the near north. And the way the stats look, it looks very dark. But then we're going to pivot and talk about why people love living in the near north, because that's an important story to tell as well. So let's just jump right into stats. Okay, so being the 19th of the month, you've seen 2 weeks already of what the market's doing. This is detached in the lakefront communities. You know what? If you look at this, I discovered something new, Kyle. When they say 69 under contract, that's not 69 total under contract. That's 69 in the last 19 days, because this is a 19-day for April. Because you know how typically you can go 45 days on a pending. And when I do my stats every week, I show what's currently pending, and that's like the 45-day. So that's why there are always more pending than there are new or sometimes even active. But anyway, so I figured that out. So because when we do the 45-day thing, it looks like there are as many pending as there are new, right?
You can't make that 19 days, 45 days. It can only do 19. 19's the max.
No, I can do 30, but I wanted to see what was happening since April 1st.
Got it.
So, but still 60 private single-family homes.
Crazy people. You don't need to be private.
So then I went in and I did a report on the homes and what's gone on. So basically, 133 are all under contract. That's how I figured out the math issue.
Okay.
Right? 69 of which are new, but okay. And 55 have closed, total volume of 88.3. If you look at the under contract versus active, it's 1.21. So more under contract than active.
That's terrible.
I know. Crazy stuff. This I thought was interesting. This is by price brand. So I know the numbers are very small, so I will interpret.
I was like, what brand? Yes.
Yeah, million to 2 million is where all the action is. Not surprisingly. And the next biggest band is the 2 to 299. Okay, so then attached, condos, co-ops, townhomes, 1153 new, 803 under contract. So that's very healthy and strong, right? 708 closed and 306 are private. This private thing's driving me crazy. Okay. So in total, there are 1497 under contract versus 1502 active. So the condo market is strong. Then, okay, here it is by price band. This is more interesting. Yeah. You can see the, the under 500 on the left side of the screen toward the upper bracket is slower. But, there's a condo for everybody, folks. Yeah. Okay. And so let me remove our names so that you can see what's going on here. Okay. Rates have come down a little bit to 6.3. The middle is the top is the 10-year chart. So you can see how we were moderating and then we dipped down to the unicorn years and then we went back up crazy. And now we're down a little bit. If you look at the last 3 years, you can see that tail at the end of the chart where we've come back down a little bit. And truly, aside from that one dip, we're in a very good place.
Yeah.
So that's it. That's my quickie stats. Anything surprise you there?
I am surprised by how much is on the private network. I'm just shocked in this market with so much demand to be hiding your light under a bushel is crazy. That's all.
Oh my gosh. Is that a church or a grandma statement? I'm not sure which, but I like it.
I don't know. It's yeah, exactly. I don't know what hiding your light under a bushel means. I don't know if it means anything. I don't know if I made that up.
It's such a great line. No, you can't take ownership of that. Okay, so remember last time we talked about the explosion of Lincoln Park and the explosion of luxury. So now we're going to talk about what's going on in the near north.
Mm-hmm.
So Lincoln Park was the rising tide, up 55% price in 10 years. But if you look at the left, near north only went up 11%.
Mm-hmm.
Two neighborhoods, two different stories. And here's the thing. If you look at inflation,
Mm-hmm.
then that takes away a lot of the appreciation.
Mm-hmm.
So let's see if I can figure out the chart. Gosh, I've got my reading glasses on, folks, and I'm still struggling. Okay, the price per square foot up 9%. The median sold price up 11%. And it did not beat inflation, I guess is the point of the slide. Okay, so the 2-bedroom was the dominant product and the worst investment, just like Lincoln Park. In this case, let me see what it was only up 8.5%. The 4-bedroom outperformed, just like in Lincoln Park, but I think that's, well, we'll get into that in a minute.
Mm-hmm.
That's not going to be a surprise. Here we go. Okay, so inflation outran price appreciation by 5 to 1. In other words, the cost of homeowners assessments up 54% in 10 years.
Yeah.
Does that look right?
It does. And I'm going to say why I think so. During this period, so on the near north side, there are a ton of condos that have door staff, have staff, and the staff wages, labor cost increases have been huge during this period. You'll know that minimum wage went up. The contracts with the various unions that supply the doormen and the engineers have risen. Of course, they have. I also wonder if these have been years where a number of the associations have done big projects. Over the past 10 years, there have been riser projects, there have been elevator projects. All of these have been mandated by infrastructure needs, and sometimes the city. I think also during this period was life safety requirements, which were actually very expensive. So some of this increase could be to rebuild reserves to fund projects, but a lot of it is labor cost increases. And so I wonder if some of it's that. What do you think, Anne?
No, well, and you're about to see that you're right. On a future slide. Interestingly enough, this is an interesting number. $321 per month is the median increase, and that equates to $38.52 per year in hidden carrying costs. So, important number to consider. Okay, and the carrying cost explosion's not evenly distributed. The 4 bedrooms are taking more, but I think too, well, a lot of the 4 bedrooms can be some of the grand vintage homes where they're
4 bedrooms were ever $800 for HOA. I think those must have, I think there must be, this reflects the big new buildings that have been built during this period where, the One Bennett Park,
Yes.
that these are the ones
Oh,
that,
you can name them 1, 2, 3, 4.
yeah,
Absolutely right. So yeah, this is the interesting thing. 10 years ago, the buildings were still in the honeymoon phase, most of them in the Gold Coast, in that 11 to 15 year. Today, the dominant inventory, there were 506 sales where they listed that the age was 51 to 60 years old.
hmm,
And that doesn't surprise us, right?
Sandburg.
Yeah, right. Sandburg, you've got a lot of older in Gold Coast.
Hmm.
Um,
Yeah, that's very
so
interesting. Very interesting.
then, of course, this is the other story like Lincoln Park. Developers abandoned the middle market for ultra luxury.
Yeah.
That's another part of what happened in the last 10 years. 0 one-bedrooms were built again. And they're building for 3 bedrooms and up. Okay, so here is the spread of where the price points were. 10 years ago, under 300,000 was the bulk of the market. It was 33%. Today, it's only 25%. The middle market, call it the 750 to $1 million, was 6.3%. Now it's 9.3. Boy, I'm having trouble reading that. Okay, and then the luxury went from 10% to 13%. Not as big a jump as Lincoln Park, which went from 3 to 19. And remember, I'm just saying this one more time, everybody. We're talking condos only here. We're not talking single family homes.
Yeah.
So obviously it would be all luxury in Lincoln Park.
Yeah.
Well, near North too, for that matter. But okay. So buyers can still negotiate in the near North depending on the property. The median days on market is 34. The sale to list ratio is 98%. Remember, we said in Lincoln Park, 100% list price was the floor.
Yeah.
At or above list is 38% in near North, which means 61% still get some kind of discount. So it's
Yeah,
not.
it really, the advice to sellers on the near north side, be very intelligent about your pricing so that you do get 100% or more. People want good product on the near north side, but they're not willing to play with people's pipe dreams.
Exactly. All right. So the playbook for the near north side, if you're a seller, just like Kyle said, price with precision. If you overprice, you're going to be punished. It'll take you more than 85 days to sell and you won't get as high a price. And then be prepared to defend your building's finances.
Yeah.
And
know
so,
it well, understand completely.
right.
Going
We've
on
talked about this before, Kyle.
Yeah.
I am digging deep in making, listen to me talk, having my sellers give me their portal and I download and read all the documents in the budget and everything before we even go to market. Granted, we're still going to have to pay for documents in the 22.1 and all of that, but it's, and I'm finding that most agents don't really understand what's going on with their condo listing when you ask prices. So,
and the more you know as a listing agent, because I know we have agents who watch this too, the more you know as a listing agent, the better you are to sell, because you create in the buyer's mind when you're showing that you know what's going on. It's all fine. This is normal. Here's information.
Yeah.
People just feel much more confident when that happens.
And sellers, go to your meetings, understand what's going on financially in your building.
Yeah.
And if you're not getting the answers that you need, push.
Yeah.
Right. Yeah. So, okay. Now, if you're a buyer, the risk isn't in overpaying on purchase price. It is unexpected HOA exposure, because that can be grievous, and demand to get your documents as soon as possible. Right.
Yeah. Yeah.
Okay. So this wasn't okay. You tell me, as I wrote this up, it's not exactly an overwhelming tribute to the neighborhood, right? There are some caveats if you're interested in buying there. And in fact, someone watching us who's not from Chicago might say, why would you ever buy in this neighborhood then if the prices aren't appreciating and the HOAs are up? So we're going to talk about that. The 10 reasons why it's important buyers are buying in near north. I said that weird, but you know what I meant. Okay. Okay. Lifestyle, right? Lifestyle. I mean, it is arguably the most beautiful neighborhood in the city, the Gold Coast.
Best location ever.
Best location. Lincoln, you're on the south side of Lincoln Park. You're next to the lake. You're at the top end of the Magnificent Mile. You're, there's so much there. Restaurants,
so
beauty.
much there. And one of the things I love, I live 2 blocks from the lake. And I'm going to tell you, I don't have a lake view. I see the lake every day, though, walking around my neighborhood. The big, beautiful emptiness that is our lake is the most incredible feature of our city. And to be next to it is psychically fantastic.
Yeah.
It is, see, look at that thing.
Oh, yeah. I'll go back. Yeah. So pretty.
So
all right. Okay. So this is my other slide deck. I had 2, but I like this one. This
I
was
love
great.
this one.
Yeah. Okay. Next slide. Okay. Hedging against rent inflation is a reason to buy. And that does make sense because the rents in near north for everything are out of sight. It's the most expensive. If you've watched our show, we've said this before. It's the most expensive neighborhood in which to rent. And you get to control your costs when you own. No question about it.
So stagnant prices is a defensive feature. Tell us what you mean here.
Okay.
No bubble. No.
Right.
Flat appreciation means buyers are not overpaying into a fragile bubble. That's true.
Well, it is. And we've seen this happen for decades as the coasts have bubbles. We've seen it happen where outlying neighborhoods, it's every suburb experiences this, folks, every area. When you have appreciation and price, what do I want to say? There's pressure on the price, and people can't afford an entrenched neighborhood like a near north. They start buying farther and farther out. And I'll never forget in 2008, people couldn't afford to buy in Lincoln Square. So they were going out to Albany Park. And then the 2008 housing crisis hit, and the people in Albany Park got smashed. And if they didn't sell at the very, very beginning of 2008, they never recovered because nobody was buying there because they could afford Lincoln Square again. Is what happened, right? So you buy in the near north area, that there's no new construction. It's the best location. So you're, no matter what happens.
And when we say there's no new construction, people will be like, oh no, I see cranes everywhere. They're building rentals.
Yeah. Yeah.
And at some point those may go condo, but don't wait for it.
Okay, this slide is making me laugh because I did not create these slides. The cachet, the cachette. That's funny. But there is cachet to be in the neighborhood, right? I mean, I live in the near north.
No, I don't think, I never say, and I actually am embarrassed. I live in the Gold Coast. I'm embarrassed by the name the Gold Coast, just because it sounds tonier than it is. It is, I'm telling you, it's just such a pleasant place to live, and it's well located. Yeah, the term that we live in that Chicago is a city and a garden is very true in the Gold Coast.
Okay. We mentioned this before. The supply protects the downside. There's just no big high-rise projects going on. Uh, very little new residential product.
Other than the time when the civil unrest right at the start of the COVID era happened, you can it's liquid in on the near north side. You can sell things as long as you're not crazy and stupid about pricing. You can sell things pretty easily.
Yeah.
So it's a market you can come in and out of if you need to, which is I think really helpful for people who are moving here and don't want to be stuck with a property like your Albany Park example.
Yeah, exactly. All right. The coastal value gap, meaning that you get some really wonderful properties at a fraction of the price of San Francisco or Manhattan
And
or
small.
LA.
I mean, you get so much more space for your money here.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
And then the amenities, a lot of us love the amenities, the garages, the front desk, the fitness center, the rooftop deck. Many people are willing to pay for that because it is a lifestyle thing. And you think about it too, aging in place.
Mhm.
I look at people at the Carlisle who have their groceries taken up to their unit, who get their mail delivered to their unit, who get their car brought to them at the front door. Um,
That's meaningful for a lot of people.
it is very meaningful. Absolutely right.
And you can also live here in on the near north side without a car. You can get around really easily. There's public transportation. Uber swamps the area. Taxis are all over, and you can walk everywhere if you are a
Absolutely.
walk.
Right. Okay. Uh, what does this say? Interest rate lock-in created a forever home mentality. Oh, yeah. It's a buyer opportunity zone.
Oh,
Oh, geez, I got ahead of myself. Yeah, a tax arbitrage.
tell us what this means. Yeah, we tax zero on retirement income. Very nice.
Yes, I'm glad you can read because I can't read. Um, yeah, our property taxes, as high as they feel, they are cheaper than the suburbs.
Absolutely. You're not paying for,
So,
you have many more people paying for the schools that we have versus them, they have to pay for their school's fire department on many fewer um, owners.
right, right, exactly right. And the emotional pull, lakefront, architectural beauty, Michigan Avenue, home.
Yeah.
It's a wonderful, yeah. And many people find, for those of you who don't live in Chicago or don't live downtown, I think there's an impression that it's like a big anonymous city and there's no community. And there is such a community that can be found here, whether it's within your building and all the things that the neighbors do together, or whether it's the clubs, or whether it's the activities that are available. Um,
I have a destination that I go to pretty much every day that's a mile away and I walk. I've never made it there without running into somebody I know. And sometimes 10 people I know, and sometimes 15 people I know.
right.
So it is not an anonymous city, and it's not an anonymous city in on the near north side. You run into people you know.
And there are neighborhood restaurants. There
Oh,
are, right, neighborhood shops. Yeah. I remember being young before I moved to Chicago and thinking it was this big city and nobody would ever know me and I could kind of hide. And it's not like that at all. And you meet some wonderful people and establish some remarkable relationships. And, whether it's your running group, running up and down the lakefront, or the group of people that you play mahjong with at Astor Hall, or
yeah,
right, or
yeah.
whatever. There's just so much. So, um, So, I hope I didn't sound, what does this say? Oh,
Capital preservation, financial optimization,
and
lifestyle.
lifestyle curation. Yeah, that's basically it.
Yeah.
Look at that summarizing it for us. So,
Yeah. Who do you think? Right?
but anyway, now, I mean, but I feel like our conversation today gave a realistic perspective.
Mhm.
Now, keep in mind too, those are aggregate numbers.
Mhm.
It's still possible to buy great investments from a financial standpoint if you pay attention to what building you're buying in, which is financially sound. Um,
There are good schools. We forgot to mention this is a neighborhood not just for retiring people. This is a neighborhood for families. There are good schools in it, private and public. Um, it's a we don't have as many grocery stores as we want, but we have. It's a neighborhood that's livable because people say, "Oh, I want to live in Lincoln Park because it's so livable," um, and that's true. Lincoln Park's glorious, but you can't really do a whole lot of things without a car. You gotta, I mean, you gotta run errands with a car because but you don't here. You can walk.
no,
Or
that's
grocery.
absolutely right.
Yeah.
And walking means active, happy lifestyle for sure. So, uh, all of you out there, if you're thinking about peeking into the Near North neighborhood and considering options, please let us know. As always, subscribe to our channels, both social and YouTube. Follow us and ask us questions. And I don't know what we're doing next week. We've done these neighborhood deep dives. Maybe we need to do one more. I don't know.
Okay, well,
Oh, we'll see what happens with the market.
we'll
What?
come up. We'll come up with
We
something.
will come up with something for sure.
Yeah.
So good to see you as always, Kyle. And we'll see everyone out there next week on Monday Morning Coffee with Kyle and Ann.
Thank you for joining us.